So, you've been through a tough time. Maybe you're in a toxic relationship, or you had a bad childhood, or your family is really dysfunctional, or something's going on at work. When you find yourself in a difficult situation or a toxic situation, you ever say to yourself, I just don't know what to do to get through this situation. I don't know how to push through. I feel lost. You talk to a friend and your friend says, you need to get over this. Well, you know that, but how? Researchers have found that one thing separates survivors of trauma or adversity versus those people who are chronically stuck in victimization. And it's as simple as it is profound. People who defeat adversity have a plan, and they implement it. See what I mean? That is a simple guideline, and it is profound. That's what I want us to talk about here today. You know, I work with people from all walks of life, and I have yet to hear a person say, my life is hard, and I plan to do everything I can to make things worse. No. Every person I know wants life to be better. And that's the way it should be. We all want life to have meaning. Okay, I'm going to make 7 suppositions about you, and those same things are true about me. When you were a kid, when you were a child, you didn't have complete control over whatever happened. And even as you entered adulthood, unplanned events occurred. You know, sometimes it seems like someone else is driving the boat in life, and we're along for the ride. Okay, a second assumption I'm making about you. You did what you believed you had to do to push through your circumstances. Yeah, some of the decisions you made weren't so good, but some of them were. Okay, a third supposition. As you grew and aged and developed, you developed opinions. Opinions about yourself, opinions about other people, opinions about the world at large. Some of the things you think are right and good, but others are wrong perhaps, and not so good. Some of your opinions are dead on, others need to be changed. Okay? Another supposition I'm making about you. You have ideas about how your life can be better, how your future can be bright. You have goals for what you want to do, what you want to become. And I really hope that some of those goals become reality. Another thing I'm assuming about you. Some of the things you believe about life are based on the hardships and traumas you've endured. And thus those things trigger you into words or relationships or actions or choices or emotions that may or may not be in your best interest. We all act according to our beliefs, and our beliefs are shaped by our history. Okay, another thing. Everything you and I do is done for a reason. And everything we do is with the intent of making life better. Even the negative things. Think about this. If a person screams or throws a fit, maybe they do it because they want people to take them seriously, or they need to release pent-up frustration. You know, we can do negative things, but have a positive intention. But, you know, sometimes a person can say things so loudly that valid messages get lost in the shuffle. Okay, a final supposition I'm making about you, and then we'll move on to something more constructive. You can't change the hardships you've faced. Unfortunately, magic wands or time machines or wishing wells or genies that grant 3 wishes don't exist. Reality is what reality is. Okay. Fortunately, some really smart people have studied what it takes to help people overcome adversity or trauma. People of all ages can be taught the thinking skills, the social skills, relationship skills, behavior controls, emotional controls, all those things that are needed for success. At every stage in your development and mine, following every significant life event, we make decisions. Maybe you hope the storm will blow over and so you decide to do nothing, which of course is a decision in and of itself. You know that old adage, not to decide is to decide. But if you do what researchers tell us is the smart thing to do, you'll consider all your options and then you'll choose something to push you in a right direction. Okay, so here's 5 guidelines that will help you successfully confront difficult life circumstances, toxic relationships, past trauma, whatever it is you're trying to overcome. The first is this. Be realistic. Be realistic about your situation. You know, it's one thing to be forgiving or to give people a second chance, but ask yourself or ask a friend, what's the likelihood that what you are doing right now is going to make things better? Take an inventory and be realistic about how you assess yourself in your life circumstances right now. A second thing, conduct an inventory of your emotions. Take note of the most common feelings you experience. Maybe you want to make a list, but inform yourself of the emotions that dominate your heart. Are you chronically anxious or annoyed or tense or depressed? If so, maybe you need a change in direction. That is, maybe you need a plan of action. Okay, related to that, look at your situation from all angles, the good and the bad. Which side wins? Does the positive side win or negative? One thing that keeps people stuck in a bad relationship is that they cling to whatever's positive, believe it or not, and they ignore all the negatives. You know, in the negativity of life, we can learn things about ourselves and we can learn things about other people. That's related to being honest with ourselves. Take note when the bad consistently outweighs the good and ask yourself what it means. You may find some good answers. Okay, another guideline. Think ahead. Many people stay in bad situations because they're afraid to change. Help yourself overcome those fears by reconnecting with people you like. Treat yourself to some of the perks you've been deprived of. Make lifestyle changes. Take care of your body. Do things that make you feel good about yourself. By gradually thinking ahead, changing and adjusting your lifestyle, you're making it easier on yourself when it comes time to pull the trigger and make a decided turn in the right direction. Okay, a final thing, and I've already kind of touched on this. Make effective use of negative emotions. You know, I've known people who stay stuck in adverse circumstances because they're ashamed, or maybe they feel guilty about the ripple effects that their choices might have on others. But you know, guilt and shame, things of that nature, if they're used correctly, they motivate us to make changes. Consider this thought. If you don't take care of yourself, you won't be able to constructively give of yourself to people who want and need and can be a constructive part of your world. Allow yourself to fill your bucket, so to speak, so you can share yourself with others. Okay, let's summarize. When you develop and implement a plan to get over adversity or trauma, you're reshaping your own future. You are in charge of yourself, not someone or something else. You're creating confidence, even though you might not feel really confident at that very moment. Let me leave you with a word of caution. Sometimes we make decisions that don't turn out the way we hope, and that's a part of the learning process. But rather than give up all your plans to change simply because you make mistakes along the way, make it your commitment to keep your options open. Planning, good decision making is one of the most important life skills to own. I'm Psychologist Jee Carter. Let me ask you to comment below about how you handle adverse situations or hardships or relationships. How hard is it for you to make and stick with a plan? What's worked for you? If you'd like, I'd love for you to be a subscriber to my channel, and I hope you'll take note of the link below about a book option that I've written for you. I'll look forward to being with you again soon.